Hi guys, Leif here, and I just want to kind of share my thoughts and opinions on design thinking versus the design sprints. Now, for years now, I've been using the design thinking process, but I've also been more aggressively starting to use the design sprint process. And thank you to the guys over at AJ Smart, fantastic videos and training is amazing. These guys have really helped to push me forward even more. But what I do find is that something that I agree with Jonathan, what he spoke about, and what I'm really speaking about too, is that what you find is that with the design thinking process, it's been really effective to help me be able to know what steps to actually take, like discovery, designing personas, building wireframes, so on and so forth, bit by bit. But what you find is that without it having the solid framework around, okay, it should be a week or 2 weeks or whatever it may be, I found myself sometimes on certain projects, certain aspects of the process might take 2 weeks or 5 weeks or 10 weeks, and you're coming up with wireframes at different timelines based upon the project. So sometimes I might be getting to wireframes in one project at week 4, or I might be getting wireframes in another project by day 4, or another times I'm getting to wireframes by month 4, because we either on some projects I'm spending a lot of time doing user research, or I'm spending tons of time just doing persona mapping, just developing different personas, because different people in the team care about different things. Different stakeholders emphasize different things as well. And sometimes whether you're working in an agency or whether you're working in a company, the stakeholders themselves will emphasize that they want to see something more than something else. So some stakeholders might emphasize, I want to make sure that you really nail down who our ideal buyer persona is. Another stakeholder might come and say, I really want you to get some wireframes done super quickly. Or another stakeholder, I've been there, where they said, I don't really understand those wireframes. Can you develop some high fidelity prototypes that are really visually beautiful? But then when you do that, if you go to that stage too quick, what you do find is that they spend more time on buttons, colors, different shades, tones, photography, things that are really unnecessary to the beginning phases of a project. Why I personally love the design sprint process, and this is not the only process you can use, there are other processes that are effective to help you build digital products, but why I love the design sprint process is because it has an actual method that you can apply day by day. And I like what these guys over at AJ Smart said with the design sprint 2.0, because it allows you to do something in a much shorter time. Because what I found initially before I learned the 2.0 process was that I'm spending day 1 doing expert interviews, HMWs, stuff like that, but then it would be almost kind of long-winded, or you find yourself repeating certain questions that are not needed to be repeated. Or sometimes I'm going into teams where they've basically thought through the product, they know their personas really well because they have the skill set internally. But what I do find is that by shortening certain exercises, it allows you to know what to focus on and emphasize really quickly. But by the time you get to the wireframe stage, because the process is a lot shorter by a day, people are more involved. So by the end of Wednesday morning, we find that people are so much more involved, and I find that they're really excited to now see real tangible prototypes. By the end of Wednesday, we have something visually appealing that can be used as well. And what is so great is that by the time you're doing one-on-one interviews, where your Friday may have been the interview day, now on a Friday, what I'm finding, and I don't know if the AJ and Smart guys are finding this as well, but what I'm finding is that on the Friday, I'm able to do things like re-review those user interviews again to see what people are saying. Sometimes you may have missed something from Thursday evening, so from Friday morning or throughout Friday, if there's time, sometimes I can go in and work with the team to then really understand how they're finding those user pain points, things and insights that we may have seen but may have not asked enough questions around. Now on Friday, let's ask more questions around the feedback we found from the user interviews. And the design sprint process allows me to have a really methodical way to actually explain how we're going to get from where we are now to actually a solid prototype and solid testing and get real feedback by the end of a week. And I can apply that to any project, no matter what stage of understanding the team is at. And this truly helps me to bring real value very, very quickly into a team. Whereas the design thinking process is, I understand it. It's like a really good way of thinking about things. You really want to understand your personas, for example, or you really want to have a good discovery phase where you're truly understanding the problem we're solving, for example. And the design thinking process, the guys, David Kelly at IDEO and those guys, amazing way to actually go about thinking about things. But the design sprint process, designed by Jake Knapp over at Google, is a really, really brilliant way, methodical way to go about actually solving problems within a specific space of time. So you can actually define, hey guys, within 4 days, this is actually what you're going to have, a clickable prototype and user feedback that you can go off and actually know what your next steps are. So these are really the reasons why I push the design sprint a lot more now, and why I'm 10 times more aggressive at going about working with digital teams, startups, big companies, to really help them know that, look, we're going to push a design sprint initially, and with that design sprint, we're really going to focus on the best thing that we can really, really nail down within this week. Not only that allows me to be able to deliver something that's really tangible, that's of super value, helps people to save time, it brings alignment, and it allows us to know that this is the number one thing we need to focus on and really push going forward. So I really think that if you'd love to know more, then just literally click the link in the description below. And if you'd love to know more about how I can help you in your business, then definitely get in touch with me. Subscribe to my channel, because I would love to definitely speak to you in person about how I can help you. But no matter where you are in your business, definitely get to know more about the design sprint process, because I do believe it can truly help you to solve big business problems, as well as maybe small feature issues, testing value propositions, whatever it may be. I do think it can help you. So this is my thoughts on the design thinking versus design sprints. It's not really one or the other, but for me, design sprints always, and going forward, that's what I'm going to be pushing. So once again, subscribe, get in touch with me, or you can just email me directly at Laith, Laith at pixelute, pixeloute.com. So that's Laith at pixelute.com. Take care and have a great day. Bye bye.